Hello and welcome. I'm Exit Light, and this is my podcast. Today I have Jory with me. Hello, Jory.
Hello, everybody.
So, we're going to talk about crimes that were committed on Christmas, right, Jory? Like murderous sort of crimes.
Yeah, like somebody confused Christmas with the Purge.
Yeah. Well, I'm not like totally against that, but anyway, I'm going to say this right at the beginning for people who don't follow all the way through. Please go ahead and give a thumbs up when you guys come in. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe and click that bell so you can be notified of my new content. And hello, Jay. And hello, Steve. Steve, did you get my email? Just want to check. And I'm going to talk about you in a little while, Steve. And Jay, you who killed his fiance? They were married. Chris Watts was married and had 3 kids. Who was the? Was it the one? Was it the one that went missing? That I talked about last week? Oh, I didn't even get any news about that. Yo, he did? Oh, I need to go look that up. I knew it too. You couldn't have acted more guilty than that guy. I'm gonna have to go look that up. I know. Oh, let me go look that up. Missing. Troy, why don't you go ahead and say something to everybody so I can look this up real fast?
Something.
Thank you.
You put me on the spot.
I'm sorry.
You're talking about the guy who killed his family up in Colorado?
Yep, the fiance of Colorado mother missing since Thanksgiving, charged with murder. Yes, I knew he did it. He was weird. I'm not gonna talk to anybody. I'm not gonna answer any questions. Didn't want to give his phone over. Oh my God, that makes me sick. He didn't call the police when she didn't come pick her child up. I mean, there really wasn't any question, was there? Oh my God.
He already came out and said he did it to start a new life over with the other girl that you liked.
No, that was the Chris Watts guy. This is the one you didn't listen to my podcast last week. We did missing people, and I started off with a real case. This woman, had been missing since Thanksgiving. She had taken her daughter to her quote unquote fiance's house and taken her there for Thanksgiving, and then completely disappeared off the planet. Her phone pinged 600 miles away. She was a pilot and everything, but she didn't take an airplane or anything. Her house, she had made cinnamon rolls and taken them out of the oven to cool. She was planning on coming back. She left both cars there. Her purse, everything she owned was in her house. And he never reported her missing. She went missing on Thanksgiving, November 22nd. Her mom finally called the police on December 2nd, I think it was. And then they had a news conference, and the fiance didn't even go. And the way the police were talking about him, they were like, the press said, "Why isn't he here at the news conference?" And the officer who was giving the news conference said, "Well, you'd have to ask him that." I mean, right away they're acting like it's an adversarial relationship. Everything he did was weird. That makes me so sad for her. She has like a 1-year-old daughter.
Wow.
Thank you, Jay, for letting me know that. The information came out on the 21st. Wait, is that today? Ooh, Jay, you're on it. Anyway, where was I? Oh, okay. So Steve, you got my email. Okay. Um, where should we start, Jory? Do you want to start? Do I want to start? I can start.
Don't you usually do your selling shtick before we
Yeah,
start?
if you would like to support this channel through anything at all, would you please kindly consider supporting this channel through Patreon? Maya will post a link. It is Christmas. Please, sir.
Ho, ho, ho.
That was good.
Thank you.
That was very nice. Help an angel get its wings.
Daddy, don't you know that when you donate to Exit Light's channel, an angel gets its wings?
Yeah, that's right. A demon falls on the floor, convulses. Anyway, my friend Mad Meerkat over there sent me something, a gift. We're going to talk about it in a little while. He's a very nice guy. Okay, Jory, I don't really need to sell anything else, do I?
No, but you can let people know that if they want to send me gifts, I don't mind.
Oh, okay. If you'd like to send Jory a gift, send it to my address.
I'm sure I'll get it if you send it to Exit Light.
Yeah, just like I got my black salt.
Hey, that was sent to you before I really had a chance to sit down and send it to you. So,
All right then. That's your excuse.
hey, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for my first Exit Light podcast paycheck. So,
You and me both, sweetheart. Jay says, "Can I send a money order to you folks? Patreon does not like my Galaxy from Samsung bastards." Jay, you can send a money order if you would like. I'm never going to tell anybody they can't send me money. Send me a message, Jay, if you want to, if you're serious, and I'll give you an address. Okay, because I'm not going to give it on live anymore since I have a stalker. You know, I don't really need to be like, and here is exactly where you can find me.
but what if Jay is the stalker?
Yeah, what if Jay is a stalker? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
And he wants to deliver it by hand.
Severed hand. Oh, oh, oh.
As long as it's not mine, I'll take that money. I'll take that check right out of that severed hand. Then you call the police. Whatever, that was weird. Okay, I'm going to do a story about a murder, shall we?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, dear Lord, please tell me I did not. Okay, thought I erased them. Okay, so I want to do. Hold on a second. I want to do one that had. Oh, hold on. There's one in particular that was. Oh my God.
Well, Exit Light is trying to figure out what she's doing. What is everybody doing for Christmas this year?
This is our last podcast before Christmas. Yeah, what are you guys doing for Christmas?
Preferably not randomly showing up at our doors.
Hopefully not. Oh, okay. Here's a good one. I mean, I don't mean to say good. These are real people, real crimes. I don't mean to say good one. I don't know how to express it. Here's a horrible one.
Here's a good one that should have never happened. How about that?
Yeah. So this happened in 2013. 18-year-old Alexis Valdez was living with his aunt and her boyfriend, Sylvester Diaz Hernandez. When he and Sylvester got into an argument about Valdez's inability to contribute to paying rent, rather than moving out or talking it out in person, Valdez did what any irrational person would do, and he smashed Diaz Hernandez's head with a hammer. Then he closed all the windows, turned up the music, cut off the man's head, his left arm, his ears, his nose, and then he gouged out his eyes. And as an early Christmas present for his aunt, Alexis left, not you, thank you. Alexis left the my Alexis is going off, decapitated head on her pillow. Police found him covered in blood, and he confessed that if his aunt had been home, he would have killed her too. Merry Christmas.
Jesus, talk about a Grinch.
No shit. What is weird to me is, well, I mean, what isn't? But like, if you're like, he's getting into like cutting bits and pieces off, but then he realizes he's like, shit, this is really fucking hard. So I'm just gonna go for the soft shit. Like after the arm, he's like, I can't do this all day. Nobody's got time for this. I'll just go for the ears and nose and then scoop out the eyes. It's so he got lazy like halfway into it. He was like, oh god dang, this is too much work. And then I think I'll give my aunt a little Prezi. Oh my god, that's crazy. Is that not crazy? That's like, he's real mad about the rent.
Yeah, I can't imagine me getting so mad at somebody, much less a family member, and just bashing his head in with a hammer and then cutting up his body parts and saving some for my aunt.
It was charitable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
I wonder if he was singing Christmas carols while
have yourself a
his uncle.
Bloody little Christmas. Here's one eye.
Better watch out. Better not cry. Better not pout about rent, Uncle. I'm telling you why.
I'm telling you why, son of a bitch. I got a hammer?
Alexis is bringing the hammer to your skull.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's not funny. It's not funny.
No.
Moving along. Mad Meerkat, the elves did it. That's what I would say. Right off the bat. I don't know. Okay. Do you would like to tell us a story, Jory?
Well, sure. I guess I could.
Okay.
I'm a part of the podcast this week. I guess I have to work.
Yep, you got to earn your keep, bud.
I like how you said that like 10 minutes ago. I'm like, I'm still waiting for my paycheck. Like, you got to earn your keep, son.
Well, I still pay you with I love yous, you know. It's worth something. All right. What's yours?
So this one took place locally back on Christmas Day in 2013.
By your house?
I'd say probably about a mile away from me.
What's your address?
My address is 123 North. Mind your own effing business.
Mine is 666 Mockingbird Lane.
My phone number
Oh,
is 555-555-5555. If anyone wants to get a hold of me.
someday mine's going to be 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Well, at this rate, anybody can get in there.
That'll be a scary day.
That would be a scary day. Exit Light is now president of these United States of America. And
If
my
you've ever
first
stalked
order
her.
of business is everyone shall donate to my Patreon.
I don't see a problem with that. Just take it through the courts. Okay.
Okay.
Tell us about your story.
There's not like an actual story that I'm able to read to you. A lot of it's just news articles. So I'll try and piece this together the best I can. Okay. So a woman named Connie Villa had 4 children. Her
Dia?
Villa.
D with a V. D or a
V.
or V. Villa.
V.
Sorry.
B for Vendetta. B.
I'm really just sick of you.
I'm sick of you. Anyways, Connie Villa. You know, like Bob Vila? Villa.
Oh, is that it? No, seriously, spell it.
Villa.
Oh, okay. So yeah, like Bob Villa.
Villa.
Villa. One L is 2 L's. 1 L is yeah.
Well, I'm not
2
European
L's
or
is
Hispanic,
Villa.
so forgive me if I'm.
Villa. 1 L would be
Tortilla.
like pollo. Yo.
So am I saying it wrong or is she saying it wrong?
Yeah, you're saying it
I'm
wrong.
saying it wrong. I'm saying it right. I'm saying it right. You're saying it wrong.
Hold on.
Hey, my wife is the authority on this, and I'm going with her.
Wouldn't
she says I'm right. It's very rare my wife says I'm right.
Is 2 L's the yeah?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, got you. Via. Okay.
Like tortilla.
Yeah, I'll ask Rob. Oh, yeah. Okay, got you. Sorry.
Yes.
It's been a minute since I was forced to know these things.
Do you live in Texas? These are things you should still know.
I know. Just be quiet. Don't tell anybody I live in Texas. We're done
They
with that.
already know.
Texas is a large state. I could live
Matt
anywhere
Meerkat was able to send you something.
there. Yeah. Well, it's because
As was Diabolical Witness.
I just give my address out, and then I'm like, "Hey, I have a stalker."
I have a stalker. By the way, here's my address, everybody.
Diabolical Witness is here right now. By the way, are you my stalker, Brian? It's a long way for Mad Meerkat to be a stalker. Okay.
Anyways, so Christmas Day 2013, Connie Villa was with her 4 children, and her eldest being a 13-year-old daughter. She was going through a separation with her husband, and she called him over to pick up the children for Christmas. And upon his arrival and attempting to enter the house to pick up the children, she began to stab him in his torso.
Oh, shit.
Area.
When did this happen?
On Christmas Day 5 years ago. He was able to escape the house and go to the hospital, but unfortunately he left the children behind.
Oh.
So she had, in that time, slipped the 3 children prescription pills to try and overdose them and kill them. 3 of these children were the husband who she had just attempted to stab. The eldest daughter, who she had from a previous relationship, wouldn't take the pills, so she dragged her to a bathroom and suffocated her in the bathroom to death.
How old was she?
13 years old.
Oh, my God.
Police, upon arrival and breaking into the apartment, had found the children sleeping or passed out near Via as she was attempting to kill herself with the knife that she had used to stab her husband. They were able to take her into custody and take the children to the hospital, where they were able to figure out that they had small trace doses of opioids in them. But she basically didn't want the ex-husband to have custody of the children. So she figured if she couldn't kill him, then she was going to kill the children.
But the oldest child wasn't his.
I know. And she still killed her too.
Here's where I veer off. And I say, if she's trying to kill herself with a knife, like, let her.
Well, unfortunately, that's not how the justice system works.
I know, but when I become president, I just let her take the kids to the hospital, let her figure out how to use that knife, and save us all the taxpayer money. Sorry, that wasn't very Christmassy.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Exit Light condoning suicide and necrophilia.
Oh, no. That's not suicide. That's self-inflicted murder that she deserved.
Isn't that suicide?
No. This woman, all right, didn't take the knife and help her. Help her. Figure it out.
She clearly needed the help.
No shit. God. I see, that's what, when people, well, all of this is about people who wanted to take their families down with them. It's just, oh my God, I just can't get my mind around that. Mad Meerkat says, get them while they're cold. Yes.
By the way, this lady was sentenced to life in prison for her crimes.
Or was she?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yep.
All right.
As a little side note, Kendra works with the grandmother of the children on the mom's side.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Nope.
Ooh. That's gotta be. So she's the mom's mom?
Yes.
That's gotta be just as horrible. I mean, can you imagine that your child did that? Ugh.
Right.
And you lost your one grandchild. All right, let's move on to something a little less or more. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Yep.
This is a bad one, too. 1 week after his divorce had been finalized, Bruce Pardo, this one's really famous, showed up to his ex-wife's family's home on Christmas Eve in 2008 and began shooting at the 25 people inside, including an 8-year-old boy who survived. He unfortunately answered the door. Pardo entered the home dressed as Santa Claus and murdered 9 people, injured 3, and then set the house on fire. I have more information about that. Pardo's ex-wife, both of her parents, her 2 brothers, their wives, her sister, and the nephew were the unfortunate victims of this murder spree. The following morning on Christmas Day, Pardo died from a self-inflicted gun wound to the head. Well, he didn't just use a gun. He went in with a gun and a flamethrower. So it wasn't like, oh, and then he set the house on fire. He went in with a flamethrower. A couple of things. He had a plane ticket to leave town. But apparently he decided, screw it, I'm just going to self-murder. Self-execute. See, at that point, that's what it is. The blaze, ignited by racing fuel and fed by the festive lights in 2 fireplaces, took 80 firefighters 2 hours to extinguish. Many of the victims had to be identified through their dental records. Now, here's another version of that story. It's the same story, but so the Ortega family invited all 5 of their adult children and their families to their home in Covina, California, which is a quiet, low crime community about 22 miles east of Los Angeles. The Ortegas, Joseph and Alice, loved Christmas, and it was their favorite time of year to spend with their 2 oldest sons, James and Charles, and their daughters, Letitia, Alicia, and Sylvia. That Christmas Eve, when he came in, what they were doing was sitting around playing poker, and it was really, really loud in the house and everything. The doorbell rang, and then the little boy answered the door, and then that's when he went in with the gun and the flamethrower. A neighbor heard it and called 911. But the one is this. But what the lieutenant who was called into the scene said that what he saw was apocalyptic. Can you imagine, like, this entire family, literally, this mom and dad, all their children and their children, except for one 8-year-old boy. Is that not crazy?
That's really sad. That's crazy.
I'm okay that he self-executed. It works for me.
That's just a shame.
I just can't understand. I just don't understand that kind of rage, I guess. Okay. Yuck. Moving on. Starting to get depressed.
This is your topic.
I know.
I wanted to do something more Christmassy and historical and ghostly. And Mom's like, no, let's talk about murders.
I know. What was I thinking? Hi, Victor. Victor's here. Victor, are you my stalker? I'm going to ask everybody as they come in. Hey, Steve, you're an ex-police officer. Why don't you get to checking these people out? All right, Jory. Do you have another story you would like to press us with? I am literally sitting here next to my Christmas tree with my Christmas lights on and Christmas presents underneath it. You're going to be like, and then he brought in a flamethrower.
All right. Well, it looks like this one. All right.
Brian says, check me first.
This is another Santa killer, and his name was Aziz Yazdan Pana. I don't know.
Yes, Yazdan Pana. Yes, that's his name.
Yazdan Pana, who donned the festive red and white outfit in anticipation of his. I'm sorry, the wording. Who donned the festive red white outfit in anticipation of his rampage.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. The wording of it is just. Anyways, on December 25th, 2011, entered his estranged wife's Dallas, Texas home and began shooting the family. They had just finished unwrapping presents. All in all, he murdered 6 people, including his wife and 2 children, before killing himself. The victims and 2 handguns were discovered in the kitchen and living room, with presents and wrapping paper littering the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yazdan Penna had been dealing with financial and marital issues, which detectives believe contributed to his mindset before the murder-suicide. Like the Covina case, it's likely the suicide was a last-minute decision when the killer found himself overwhelmed. The crime scene showed attempts by Yazdanapa to frame his brother-in-law by placing one of the guns in his hand.
Hmm.
According to Carr, people who commit violent acts during the holidays are often consumed by feelings of rejection, usually by a love interest or former lover, or even just someone they've been flirtatious with. Typically, they targeted their victim specifically, and their violence is a direct expression of their frustration, anger, hate, or rage towards that person. These attackers are often fixated on the fantasy of holidays being synonymous with love, family, and fun. They believe their intended victim to be the reason they are suffering and deprived of an ideal holiday. Jackass.
Well, I have some extra information about that murder. The final text that his niece, Sarah Zare, she was, how old was she? 22 years old. Oh, no, it's his daughter. The final text that she sent to her boyfriend was an annoyed text. I'm sorry, it was his niece. Annoyed text saying that her uncle had shown up in a Santa Claus suit, and this is what she wrote in her text. Now he wants to be all fatherly and win Father of the Year because he fucked up before? Nope. That wasn't where he was going with that.
And she was one of the victims?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. No, that's not where he was headed. Mm-mm. He had given up on Father of the Year. That's gross. All right. Here we go.
Your turn.
Yay. I need to mark it off when I've done one. Okay. The Ashland tragedy. This one happened in 1881. Let's get a little farther away from modern times for just a minute. 17-year-old amputee Robert Gibbons, his 14-year-old sister Fanny, and their 15-year-old friend Emma Carrico were fast asleep on December 23, 1881, when 3 assailants entered the Gibbons home and brutally murdered the trio with axes and crowbars. Once the 3 assailants had finished murdering these children, they set the family home ablaze. The flames caught the attention of neighbors who ran to the home to find the 3 with their skulls smashed and the fire set by the murderers to hide the evidence. The girls had been assaulted. They did find 3 people that they thought were had committed these crimes. They convicted them, and one of them was accidentally on purpose let to walk alone, where he was picked up by a lynch mob and killed. Bring back lynch mobs.
Man, how did he accidentally on purpose find himself in that situation?
I don't know. Somebody had some answering to do. Whoops. Oh my God, look at him. He just oh shit, he slipped away. Oh, I thought this group of people over here chanting kill him were going to help me. They didn't.
I should not have fallen asleep on that shift.
My bad. My bad. I wonder if my bad was an excuse back then. My bad.
Deputy, how'd you let him get away? My My bad.
My bad. That's terrible. Can't imagine. All right. Do you have another one?
Yeah. Give me a second here.
Somebody's going to have bad dreams tonight. By the way, I want to say this before he starts. Next week, our podcast is going to be recorded, and we're going to do a premiere. So Rob and I will be in the audience when the podcast premieres, so we can answer questions and talk with everybody. And the thing is we're going to do a podcast on, what's that guy's name, Jory?
What did he do?
You know, the one that's really like the devil worshiper guy?
Oh, Aleister Crowley.
Aleister Crowley. Hey, yes. Could they hear you, Jeremy? Yeah, okay. Jeremy's excited. So maybe you'd like to join us, Jeremy. Okay. We'll just sprinkle the black salt all around us and talk about Aleister Crowley. I hear he wasn't a good guy. Okay, well, Victor, try and come back. Go ahead.
When you dabble in the dark arts like Aleister Crowley did, don't think you were that good of a person.
Well, I really am coming at it from a place where I don't know anything about Aleister Crowley. So, I mean, when we mentioned him before, everybody was like, what? He's the devil. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. Well, when you actually get to sit down and do your research on him, you'll be mind blown. But I know one of his really good friends was a gentleman that you might have heard of. He kind of sort of started the Scientology religion.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. L. Ron Hubbard?
Yep.
They were good friends?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Before L. Ron Hubbard started, well, Scientology didn't start off as Scientology. It started off as Dianetics.
Dianetics, yeah.
Dianetics. So it was before he came up with Dianetics that they were really heavily involved with each other.
You're kidding me.
Mm-mm. And some people claim that a lot of what Aleister Crowley taught L. Ron Hubbard was what he took with him in creating Dianetics and eventually Scientology.
Interesting. Well, that's weird.
Just some preview information, I guess, for next week's podcast.
Yes, thank you. Well, thank you. Would you like to start the podcast right now?
All right, call up Rob. Let's just get it done now.
I'll call and wake Rob up. It's not the first time I've done that. He'll be like, oh, God, are you waking me up again? Interesting. All right. Well, do you have a murder?
I do.
Okay. Lay it on us.
Okay. On Christmas Day in 1929, tobacco farmer Charlie Lawson. See, I'm noticing this pattern here, and I'm not liking this.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. My phone's freaking out. Let me get back to it. Okay. These murders we're talking about are people killing their families on Christmas. And
yes,
I know that there's that overall joke that people make of like, oh, I just don't think I could be with my family for Christmas. I might just kill them.
Right.
I'm noticing this trend that these people actually did that.
I know. They weren't joking.
They were not joking. They probably told their friend, oh my God, another Christmas with my family. I'm going to murder them. And
you know. Right? If my Uncle John opens his mouth one more effing time, swear to God, flamethrower. I know. People are like, ha, 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 ha. So then the next day they read it in the news. It's crazy.
He said he was going to kill Uncle John, and then he did
it. Yeah.
Well, I guess that means more rum in my liquor cabinet next year, huh, guys?
Oh, God.
Anyways.
Moving on.
Tobacco farmer Charlie Lawson killed his wife and all but one of his 7 children at his Germantown, North Carolina home. Just days after getting the family together for an expensive family portrait, and shortly after he and his eldest son, Arthur, went hunting, Lawson hid by the barn and ambushed 2 of his daughters.
Can I break in here real fast?
Uh-huh.
They were very poor. And they didn't have the money for this portrait. That was not something they'd usually spend money on. Not only did they have the portrait, but he went out and bought everybody in his family. So, like, he had, like, what, 6 kids or something? And his wife, new Christmas clothes, which was, everybody, when he did it, thought, that's weird. Because he was, like, real penny pincher. So he went out and bought them this very new, expensive Christmas clothes. He had, I think the youngest child of his was an infant, 6 months old. And then there was a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and on up. But they didn't think, oh, he's going to kill his family. But what he did was he was planning this murder and wanted one last picture of his family together. Isn't that weird?
Weird.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Maybe
Go ahead.
Because he already knew what he was doing.
No, he was. He did. That's why he did it. Because they had never had a portrait taken before, and they had never been allowed to go out and buy fancy new clothes before, least of all just for a holiday event.
Yeah.
Not something that wasn't church. And, so he planned it, had a really nice picture taken, and then, boom, lost it. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So after hunting with his son Arthur, he hid by the barn and ambushed his 2 daughters, shooting and then bludgeoning them. Walking back towards the house, he killed his wife on the porch and then hunted down his eldest daughter and his 2 youngest sons, who were hiding inside. Then he went into the woods, where he killed himself. The sole survivor of the massacre was Arthur, who was 16 at the time, who had gone into town for some extra ammunition after their morning hunt. Although we still don't know why Lawson killed his family, in general, murders are more likely to be committed by someone in the victim's family than by a stranger. People who murder their family or a family member during the holidays are likely to have repressed anger, harbored hostility, jealousy, or frustration with that family member, or what they represent. Because holidays are expected to be happy times and family-filled, unhappy family members may experience a psychological break where they can no longer repress their uncomfortable thoughts or feelings of rage. Murders of this type are often reactive and unplanned.
They were on their way to family's house to celebrate Christmas. So that's how he hid behind the barn and got 2 of his daughters, because they were walking to another home. And then his oldest daughter is the one who told a couple of the kids to go run and hide. And that's how he knew how to hunt him down, because she had told him to go hide. The mom tried to stop him, which obviously didn't work. And it's so, like, okay, so he plans this. He knows it. We get this Christmas picture. And then he's like, and I think I'll just wait till we're walking down the street and just do it right out in front of everybody. Well, there's probably not everybody, considering it was 1929, but not even in the house. He was waiting till they were walking somewhere on Christmas Day. It's really, he had some anger. I just wonder what went on. Like, something went on in his head. And the fact that the 16-year-old wasn't there, I think But to me, it feels like that was the planned part.
Yeah.
He didn't want to kill him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have sent him away. Really weird.
And he would have had his chance earlier when they were hunting. He didn't do it.
Yeah, right. See? Yeah, you could have done that earlier. Well, that was fun. Once suspected of being Jack the Ripper. Who that guy was?
Who was?
This farmer guy was Mad Meerkat?
Jack the Ripper?
Do you know that there was a murderer? There was a murderer in Houston, Texas, who worked as I'm actually going to do a story about this someday. I think he worked as a chef, and he had to like clean his own meat and all that. He would murder prostitutes, and I think it was Houston. It might have been Austin, but they thought that guy was Jack the Ripper for a long time because he left Texas by getting on a boat and going to Britain, and he knew how to what's the word? How to dress a body, how to dress an animal, skin it, take its innards out, and precisely where everything was. So they thought that because the same type of murders had happened here in Texas and then started happening in Britain, that it was Jack the Ripper. I mean, nobody really knows who Jack the Ripper was for actual certain. So it could be that somebody from Texas was Jack the Ripper. Wouldn't surprise me.
I like the theories around who the Jack the Ripper is. My favorite one is H.H. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes was so crazy.
Right. I mean, it probably isn't him because the way he preferred to kill over how the Ripper preferred to kill, but I mean, you never know.
I don't think it was him because, like you said, because of the way he preferred to kill. Not out in the open, not where he could get caught. That's the thing about Jack the Ripper. He was right out there and, here, just let me take you around this alleyway. Right out in the open.
I think he was a local person.
I've done a story that they believe, there's also another theory, that all of these prostitutes had at some point gone to this midwife and had ended pregnancies, and then she was the one who killed them for ending their pregnancies, which she could have done just right there.
She could have done it, yeah, in the office. Or
yeah,
where she practiced.
Right. But so some people think that this woman could have been Jack the Ripper, or possibly a male, her husband or something, that knew that had happened, or worked with her, that it was him, because all of these women had gone to see this midwife. So they had that in common, which might have been common for everybody who was a prostitute back then. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's an interesting thing too, to think of it being a woman, because it's not generally, women aren't generally serial killers. There's actually more than we know, that we talk about, but in general. And
yeah, statistically speaking, yeah, women are not.
And cutting somebody is a very personal way of killing somebody that I don't know that women would, choose that. What do I know about women? I don't know. We can't say women wouldn't choose to stab somebody because you're already a serial killer. So who knows what they would choose?
Yeah.
Eileen Wuornos chose whatever method she could. Okay. I'm going to do this one. The Los Feliz Murder Mansion, 1959. At 4:30 a.m. on December 6th, 1959, cardiologist Harold... What's that noise? Somebody's... Sure.
Sorry, I'm just switching positions.
Oh. At 4:30 a.m. on December 6, 1959, cardiologist Harold Perelson smashed his sleeping wife Lillian in the head with a ball-peen hammer and left her to die, while he moved on to try and murder his daughter, Judy. His aim was off, and she managed to escape and inform a neighbor, but her screams woke up her younger siblings. So, unable to kill his children, Perelson told the children to go back to bed. He said, "This is just a nightmare. Go back to bed." Then he took a handful of pills and was dead before the ambulance arrived for his wife. Until just recently, this is my favorite part, until just recently, the home sat for 50 years uninhabited, supposedly complete with the Christmas tree and neatly wrapped presents under it. What? That's creepy. F. I love it.
Right.
Can you imagine going in there and like the Christmas tree's still there and the presents are under there, and I love that. How weird is that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wish I had known about that house. I mean, really, wouldn't that be interesting?
Yeah.
I just think the whole setting would be like
Right.
spine chilling. I bet they didn't do that. I bet that's not true. I mean, that they left the tree there. Who knows? Wouldn't people have stolen their presents by now? I'm saying, come on. You can't have a gift delivered to your door without having it stolen. So I'm thinking people would have broken and stolen them, unless a ghost scared them away.
Well, that's a tale for another day.
I think I'm gonna look into that house, see what I can find out about it.
Sounds good.
All right. What are you going to talk
updated.
about? I will.
We're going to talk about, this is going to get dark.
Oh. Aleister Crowley was once suspected of being Jack the Ripper. How's that? Wait.
What?
But Aleister Crowley wasn't alive then, right?
He could have been, maybe?
Oh, see, Diabolical Witnesses. Diabolical Witness says, "I want to investigate that place." Me too, Brian. I'm going with you. I'm going to go with you. That is creepy as hell. And Ben Meerkat says that if it had been the midwife, she would have been Jill the Ripper. I wish I had thought of that headline for my story. Jill the Ripper. That would have been good. Do you know that Martin Luther King Jr. and if I'm going to tell a story, I have to be able to remember the people in it.
I don't want to interrupt your mom, but just for the viewers out there, my nieces just showed up and they're already screaming for me, so I'm just going to put you on mute real quick. But go ahead and keep talking.
Okay. Well, I need an answer. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Or just go ahead.
The Jewish girl locked in the attic. Please help me.
Anne Frank?
Yes. Anne Frank and Martin Luther King Jr. were born on the same day. But doesn't it feel like they were in completely different eras?
I think it's just because of what history they made. Like, Anne Frank's famous because of her diary during World War II.
And she was a child.
And then it was many years later that Martin Luther King became known for his activism for black rights.
Yeah, but it feels so recent that there was Martin Luther King.
Right.
So to think that they were born on the same day and how recent.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few Holocaust survivors still alive. So when you think about that, you go, oh, that wasn't that long ago. But I mean, up until a couple of years ago, there were still Titanic people alive. It feels so long ago. I don't know why I went off on that. I think it had to do with Aleister Crowley was born in 1875. Are you kidding me right now?
Well, he would have been about a little over 20 years old.
What? That's insane.
I didn't know he was. Wow, I didn't even know he was born in the 1800s.
Wow. That's crazy. Okay. I'm learning something, all kinds of stuff over here. Whose turn is it? Mine, yours?
It's mine.
Okay.
It is the time of year when Christians are celebrating the birth of their Savior. But for Lee Parker, Christmas Day 2016 was the date that he chose to kill his own daughter. The 33-year-old inflicted savage injuries on his 6-month-old daughter, Aya, after being left in charge of her on Christmas Eve.
No.
By the time paramedics arrived at his home, after 1 a.m., nothing could be done to save his daughter. She had suffered multiple fractures to her skull, consistent with her head being smashed repeatedly against a door.
Oh, no. I can't handle these kind of stories.
It is unclear why Parker lost his temper, but he was found to have drunk 2 bottles of wine, a third of a bottle of vodka, and taken cannabis and cocaine.
Well, gee, I wonder why he lost his temper.
Parker, who only changed his plea to guilty at the 11th hour, was jailed for life for Aya's murder. Detective Gary Haskins said, Aya was just 6 months old and was about to enjoy her first Christmas. Yet because of the actions of her father, it was sadly her last.
Oh, that makes me... He doesn't deserve life in prison. He should have his head... Okay. Moving on. Keep your thoughts to yourself. You don't have to say everything you think. Lynch mobs. I'm just saying. Oh my God. All right. Moving right along. Patty Michelle White was down on her luck when the aunt of her ex-boyfriend, Michelle O'Dowd, offered for the woman to stay at her place. Oh gosh, here comes a rent thing probably. White would do odd jobs for O'Dowd to earn her keep, so to speak, but O'Dowd's twin brother knew something was up with Michelle when she failed to show up for work. He arrived at Michelle's home to discover her car and pets still intact, as well as the Christmas decorations and presents under the tree untouched, except for the human foot sticking out from underneath the gifts. White later confessed to beating and strangling O'Dowd before hiding her body underneath the Christmas presents and fleeing to South Carolina. While this story is morbid beyond belief, the saddest part is that her neighbors in her gated community heard someone screaming in the middle of the night, and no one called the police. That was in 2011. Thanks, guys. Because, nobody wants to get involved. He hid her under the Christmas presents. Or she hid her, I mean.
Wow.
That's so disgusting. I'm gonna be depressed after this. People are crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me one that's going to cheer me up.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, God dang it. I want to go back to the one where the lynch mob took care of the guy.
Maybe I should research Christmas Day murder justice.
Yes.
Okay. In 2007, Wayne and Judy Anderson invited their brood over to their home in Carnation, Washington for a Christmas Eve dinner. With a roast in the oven and busily wrapping presents, everything seemed set for an uplifting celebration. But their daughter Michelle, 29, was in a rage over family money wrangles. And when she and boyfriend Joseph McEnroe, also 29, arrived at the house, they opened fire with 2 handguns, shooting Engineer Wayne, 60, and Postmistress Judy, 61, in the head. Bundling their dead bodies into a shed, they cleaned up the blood and waited for the next arrival. Michelle's brother Scott and his wife Erica, both 32, with their children Olivia, 5, and Nathan, 3. They too were all shot dead. The bodies were discovered on Boxing Day by one of Judy's co-workers, and Anderson and McEnroe were arrested after detectives became suspicious of their behavior. The pair confessed to the crimes and were sentenced to life behind bars, with Michelle admitting she was a monster.
Well, yeah, no shit. Boxing Day, by the way, I believe is the day after Christmas. Matt Bearcat can verify that. Well, yeah, and here I have about when Erica and Scott arrived. Erica pleaded to save the children, but no such luck.
Nope.
That's it. Christmas is canceled. I just can't risk it.
Hey, no risk it, no biscuit.
That's fine. No risk it, no flamethrowers. No ball peen hammers, no guns. No losing my left arm and my eyes. All right. Are you ready?
Ready.
Is anybody really ready at this point?
No.
No, we're not ready, but let's go anyway. All right. William ate a lot. Ate a lot? Ate a lot. Was a star pitcher for his high school baseball team. He was being recruited for college and had plans for a bright future. Dun, 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 dun. But on Christmas Eve in 2013, the 17-year-old snapped and ruined his life forever. The 6'3" athlete was armed with a baseball bat and a knife when he approached his mother, Sharon. That fateful night, he swung his bat, striking her head and body. Then he slashed her throat and plunged the knife into her eye. For good measure, I guess. Sharon was discovered in a pool of blood by a friend, and her son was eventually arrested for her murder. He reportedly confessed to the crime with a smile on his face. The relationship between the mother and son had been strained in the months before her death because Sharon was divorcing his father. Adelot was also upset because his family believed he was on drugs and had signed him up for a drug rehabilitation program. Despite the brutality of his crime, this is a good one. Adelot was declared not guilty by reason of insanity in 2016. That's very rare. A psychiatrist told the jury that Adelot was schizophrenic and had suffered hallucinations that horrific night. He is currently in a mental institution, but he could be a free man in the near future. I'm not buying it. Not buying it. Here they give us a reason for why he's mad at his mother, and then they skip to he was schizophrenic and he was hallucinating.
I don't even see how. Let's say he was schizophrenic and hallucinated and killed his mom, and they put him in the mental hospital, and supposedly he's well enough to be what they would consider they can release him back into the world. How can anybody be around a person that, whether you had mental illness or not, you killed not just someone, you killed your mom?
The thing is that he's schizophrenic, so he's on medication, right? You can't. How are they going to know if he's taking his medication once he's let out?
Yeah.
Like who's going to make sure that happens? A lot of people, once they feel better, think they're better, and then who's he going to kill and stab in the eye?
Yep.
I don't think we're going to be friends.
No.
What a waste. All right. Are you next?
If you want me to keep going on with this jolly old time.
Yeah. Ho, ho, ho.
This is titled Ripper at Yuletide. The identity of the man
I know where this is going.
The identity of the man who stalked the streets of London's East End in the 19th century, killing at least 5 prostitutes in 1888, is still unknown.
Wait, was it only 5?
Yeah. Well, at least 5 confirmed.
Doesn't it feel like he killed more than that?
No. Because his killing spree didn't last very long. He only had, but yeah, I think it was about 5, and then they just randomly stopped.
Back in the good old days, when you could kill people without all this science, that is weird, right? Like compared to today. Well, there's unsolved murders even today, but you could just kill somebody, and all this time later, nobody knows who you were. There's all this speculation, and nobody knows.
Yeah.
So you can't. You have to wear hazmat suit now. I'm just saying. Not that I've ever thought of it. Well, I got to tell a funny story. So my son plays in a Olympic sport for the Junior Olympics, and there's some parents who are a little more hoity-toity than me, and we got into a conversation during one of these tournaments, and we were talking about Alexa and how I said her name, and
sorry,
yes,
I didn't catch that.
Okay, how she'll say some things randomly sometimes, or just come on and say oh, I didn't catch that. Nobody said anything. So we were talking about how they won't have one in their house because they don't want the government to be able to hear them. And one of them said, you can't even kill anybody anymore. Now picture this. Picture the dictionary definition of mom with these women dressed with little sweaters and pearls, in their hair pulled back in little ponies, and they're the definition of mom. And one of them says you can't even kill anybody anymore. And she goes, they can track your phone. And I said, yeah, you used to be able to turn the GPS off of your phone, but you can't anymore. And I said, but what you could do is put your phone in your neighbor's car, and then it's pinging from your house all day long. And these people next to us, and so they were like, "Oh yeah," But you have to you have to totally wear something head to toe so you didn't leave anything. And these people next to us looked at my husband, who was sitting next to me, not part of the conversation, and he goes, they're like, "What are they talking about?" And he goes, "How you can't kill anybody these days," and then just looked forward. I was like, well, at least it wasn't just me.
Interesting.
Usually that would have been a conversation I was having with just, Maya. But no, me and these perfect women were talking about how she goes, you can't even kill anybody anymore. What? You're in public. You don't have to say everything that comes out of comes into your head.
Right.
Yeah. You need to be naked when you do the deed and then leave and put your clothes back on, so I've heard. Yes, but also you need to have your completely shaved. Because, we lose what is it, 100 hairs a day or something? That's my luck. All 100 are going to be left at the crime scene.
Yeah, and burn off your fingerprints.
Yeah, well, see, I'm lucky because I'm lucky. When you were a baby, I cut off my fingertips, fingerprints on 2 of my fingers, and so they're real messed up. But also, unless your fingerprints are on record somewhere, then even if they have your fingerprints, it's not like they can trace it to you, right?
Right.
Have you ever had your fingerprints taken?
Yeah, when Kendra and I were doing the foster classes.
Oh, so you're out of luck.
Yeah.
I've had my fingerprints taken as well. Bummer.
Well, good thing I wasn't planning on anything drastically like murder.
Well, like you're going to tell us anyway. 5 official victims, but as many as 7. Huh. I don't know why. I just felt it was so many more. I don't know. All right. What's your story?
Okay. The identity of the man who stalked the streets of London's East End in the 19th century, killing at least 5 prostitutes in 1888 is still unknown. But one of those suspected of being the Jack the Ripper was Polish-born George Chapman. In 1897, Chapman was working as a pub landlord in London when he began poisoning his mistress, Mary Spink, with... I don't know why I can't say words anymore. Antimony?
Antimony?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Isn't that... yeah, whatever. She was soon suffering vomiting attacks, diarrhea, and stomach pains, and died in agony on Christmas Day. Within hours, Chapman had calmly opened his bar as usual. Mary's death was put down to natural causes, as was the death of his next victim, lover Bessie Taylor, in 1901. But after a third partner, Maud Marsh, died in October 1902, suspicions were aroused, and a post-mortem showed she had been poisoned. Chapman was hanged in 1903. Inspector Frederick Aberline, who headed the Ripper investigation, believed that Chapman was Jack. Chapman had medical training, with Aberline felt fitted with the way in which the Ripper's victims had been mutilated. And that's the end of that story. Sorry. Got a baby niece in here.
You don't want to talk about mutilated bodies?
She's just talking to me. She wants me to open a water bottle for her so she can drink it.
Don't put anything in it.
This doesn't have poison in it, I promise. Give it to Aunt Kendra. Out there. Aunt Kendra's out there. Good girl.
You know, one of these stories, there was one where he didn't kill himself, but he killed his whole family. Did the other Santa one kill himself? No, I got it. Here it is. Oh, it's the story I'm going to tell next. Oh, it's the story I'm going to tell next. Boop. Sorry about giving that away. Okay, I've got a story to tell. You ready? Maya Johnson, can you play that laugh of Jory's in the scary parts? Jeremy, can you play that for them?
That one.
Okay, you ready? This is the Dustin Klopp's axe murders of 2014. Stephanie Kilhefner, ironic, spent Christmas Eve 2014 concealed inside a bag in a shed after an argument with her husband. How many times have I done that?
Oh, man.
Ugh. I've learned to not do it on Christmas Eve anymore. Just wait till later. New Year's Eve. Dustin Klopp, he knocked her unconscious. He slit her throat with a knife. And then, for good measure, he put an axe through her head. What is it with these people and axes? After cleaning up the crime scene and hiding the body, Dustin did what any good dad does. He woke up their 2-year-old and their 5-year-old children and took them to Grandma's house to eat turkey and celebrate Christmas. While he was there, he took his dad to the side and said, "Hey, by the way, the wife's not here because I killed her."
Just like that.
Yeah, I think he said, "Hey, Dad, by the way, in case you were wondering, Steph's not here because she has an axe in her head."
Could you imagine if I said that to you?
Wait, she had a splitting headache.
She had to make a quick exit.
We're going to hell. Yeah, can you imagine if you came to me and were like,
if I came to you and was like, "Hey, I don't know if you noticed, Kendra's not here. I killed her before I came over." And then you'd be like, "Oh my God, really? Where is she?" And I'm like,
"Yes,
she's dead. I killed her."
See, because you are you, I think I would have a trouble believing you.
Yeah, everybody would because of how I am.
No, because I mean, like, you would have a morbid joke and it would be like, okay. And then you'd be like, seriously though, she had a splitting headache. And if my child confessed that they had just murdered their spouse, I mean, what goes in your head? Well, his dad took him to the police department, so good for him. And then he confessed. But guess what? He saved the tax dollars a penny or two and tried hanging himself in his, I was going to say kennel. Where'd that come from?
Same thing.
In his cell. He was on life support system and then they took him off. He was 36 years old. Left his 2-year-old and his 5-year-old without any parents. What a guy. What a manly man. At least he didn't kill the kids. We need to stop there.
Well, there's a special place in hell for him.
They had an argument, so you're like, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm going to kill you and put you in a bag. So weird. The mentality. My faith in humanity is slowly but surely leaving. Let's see. Oh, Maya says you have to donate for it to play. That's funny. If you donate, like, oh, hey, here's $1, Rob's peacock feathers slowly drift from the top of the page into the brandy glass, and then Jory goes, "Wah." The way you do it, Jory.
I felt compelled. I think someone donated.
Do you have another story?
Unfortunately, I'm tapped out. I thought there would be more murders to talk about, and I'm just coming across the same ones over and over again.
Yeah, I found one, but I don't want to. It's got like several different types of abuse.
Well, we can turn the podcast around a little bit and end it on maybe some happy Christmas memories, or talk about Baby Bean.
How is Baby Bean doing?
Baby Bean's doing good. He's currently the size of an avocado now.
Yes, he is.
And his legs are officially longer than his arms.
Always good.
And he can bend his elbows and his knees.
Perfect.
And his face is slowly but surely becoming that of a human being's.
Well, in the 3D ultrasound, I thought he looked like you. So, and how's your wife doing?
She is doing okay. Every year we have a tradition where we get hot chocolate and we drive around town and we look at Christmas lights.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that last night because we were really going to get another chance. And I got through maybe one neighborhood and Bean was not having it.
Uh-oh.
He made her sick. So we had to cut that short. And then Kendra had been up since about 3 a.m. with nausea.
Ugh.
So he didn't enjoy the car ride very much.
He's like, I can't even see these lights. What lights?
Well, if I can't see it, nobody's seeing it.
That's right. Get it.
Yeah. So.
Well, this is our last podcast before Christmas.
Yep.
It's almost the end of the year, thank God.
I got a birthday coming up.
Yeah, you do. Jory's birthday is New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good day.
Mom was lucky. All her kiddos are born on holidays.
All 4 of my kids were born on holidays. Yep. That is a special kind of trick right there.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to say this. If you're listening to this on my channel, Diabolical Witness says Merry Christmas and Happy Birthday. And Merry Christmas to you guys. And thank you so much for all of your support. I really can't say it enough. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad that you guys show up and listen to these podcasts. And we really have a great time doing it. I think we started, what was our first podcast?
I believe it was back in March for the Demon House.
Right.
So we're almost a year into it now.
Wow. Every week I think we missed. Did we miss 1 week during the whole 9/11 thing?
The only week I remember us missing was last month for Thanksgiving. Did we miss one for 9? No, I don't think we missed one.
We've been doing pretty good.
Because even with me traveling to see you, we still did a podcast that week.
Yeah, you were here. Through I've I've I think I've done them all. Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah.
I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, and we will be doing a podcast right before New Year's. Me and Rob for the Aleister Crowley. And then, like I said, we will be in the audience with you so we can talk about Aleister. Mad Meerkat says, great fun. Thank you both. Best. Oh, I want to say something before that. Mad Meerkat sent me his Bobby hat. Like the, the stereotypical policeman's hat that you see on all the pictures and TV. He sent that to me. I'm not going to lie. I put my hand in the box and I felt something squishy, soft, and something hard. And for a couple of minutes, I felt like I was in that scene in Seven, out in the desert. And I was like, uh-oh, am I going to pull out a head? Not that you would send me a head, Steve, but it did kind of feel like a head. And I was so surprised and shocked. And I also want to say thank you so much. That's really so kind. So that's awesome. Thank you. I would like to someday have a little office where I can put like stuff up there that people have sent me and kind of display it behind me. That would be so awesome. And that's going to be you, Steve, and some black salt too. Put that back there. That's where it needs to go. So thank you. That was just an awesome gift. All right. If you have not already, please go ahead and give this a thumbs up so that it can be recommended. And if you're listening to this on my channel and you're not subscribed, please do. And we don't always talk about murdering families. In fact, we rarely do, but we do talk about necrophilia. Isn't that right, Steve? And click that bell so you can be notified. And thank you, Steve, for staying up so late. I appreciate it. And Merry Christmas to everyone. And thank you, Jeremy, for producing, and Maya for moderating, and Jory for being here as my guest. And Diabolical says, flat earth theory or chat with Mad Meerkat. Rob wants to have a flat earth theory podcast. Brian, I think you do know that. Maybe we will do that. What do you think, Jory?
Well, at the risk of calling people choice words.
No, don't.
I might have to skip that podcast.
Don't. Yeah, we could do a flat Earth podcast, and that would be kind of weird though, because that feels like more of like a less of a conversation and more of a debate kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which is
that's the 1 year one. That's gonna be Rob and Dad, right?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah, no judgment zone, just theory, right? That's right. That's what I would like it to be. That's right. A no judgment zone, just theory. That would be kind of interesting, really. Maybe we can have Mad Meerkat on here and do a chat with him sometime. That'd be fun. We need to have another chat, Brian. That'd be fun too. All right. Merry Christmas. Have a very Merry Christmas. Be safe. And I'll see you here next week.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Good night.